Okay. We're live right now. Oh. Oh man, hold on 1 second. The thumbnail didn't. Oh man, I feel so stupid. The thumbnail didn't change. Oh man.
Hey, if you see Mr. Clinton,
Okay,
let him
hold
know
on
Mrs.
1 second,
Clinton swung
guys.
by
Here.
earlier. And she looked, well, you know,
I'm
maybe
sorry.
you want to pick up some flowers.
I'm
or
sorry,
something.
everyone. The thumbnail didn't save. Okay. Let me just fix the thumbnail. I'm really sorry, everyone. I feel stupid right now. The thumbnail is still Red Dead. I'm sorry, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good weekend, but I'm really sorry about the thumbnail. Let me just fix that really quick here. Okay. Okay, thumbnail is fixed right now. Okay, I'm sorry about that, everyone. I bet it was weird just seeing a Red Dead thumbnail on a GTA stream. Thank you guys. Hey Steve. Hey Jack. Hey Mr. Waifu. Hey everyone. Hey Caden. Hey Ty. Hey Shiver. Hey Teddy. Hey guys. So yeah, I'm sorry about that with the thumbnail. That was yeah, that was okay. Let me okay. Okay. Okay, let me okay. Can you wish my friend happy birthday? Happy birthday to your friend, Top. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna help WRV first with this thing, then I'll help, Lloyd sell. Worst college major in your opinion? That's a tough one. Thank you, Dark Soul, for the super chat. It might be, honestly, maybe philosophy, but philosophy does give you, like, a lot of, like, it does give you a lot of, like, knowledge about important historical figures. There are some really,
All right.
Hey Pro, watch Saving Private Ryan so good. Well, thank you, Hayabusa. Thanks for the, thank you for the super chat. But yeah, my, okay. Deliver to the rendezvous point. Okay. Oh, this is really easy. Oh wait, actually, hang on a second. This is, basically about, you're asking me about the worst college major, right? So, my half-brother, what he did many years ago is he went to college and he finished this was in Poland, but he went to college and he finished a degree in philosophy. And that's what he went for years to school, for nothing else but that. And then all he did was he complained that he couldn't find a job anywhere. And, you know, I personally think it was stupid to, you know, just do that. I mean, philosophy isn't necessarily a bad subject, but, you know, you're not really going to find a work in that unless you're a teacher or if you're writing a book or something like that. But, you know, that was that. I already fixed the thumbnail. I'm really sorry about the thumbnail issue earlier, guys. Okay. I'm gonna blow up this helicopter, so nobody panic. Because if you actually blow up this helicopter, here's a tip. If you blow up this helicopter, then it's actually easier to complete the mission. I'm not joking by this. Hello, I'm converting. Okay, so for people that, if you ever have this mission... Okay. If you ever have this mission, blow up the helicopter if you ever have this mission. Because what happens at that point, Tony texts you, because you're gonna have to follow the helicopter the entire time. Or, you can just do this. And when you do this, the Trackify will activate, and Trackify is a lot easier. So open up your app, WRV, and now you just follow Trackify, so that's a little tip. I could have actually added this in my video on the features last night. I actually forgot about this mission. But, yeah, but this, okay, I'm gonna fly to it right now. Let's see where it is. Little bit of a drive, but we'll get there. Okay. One moment, I'll read the chat in a second, guys. I just want to mark this position for WRV here. Yeah, pretty good with helicopters, so to balance them here. Much better helicopters than I am with planes. Okay. Let's see where it is. Okay. Wow, this is a very, very far drive. But the thing is, it's actually good that we shot down the helicopter, because if you don't shoot down the helicopter, you have to follow the helicopter the whole road, which just takes so long. So it's ridiculous. Let's see. Damn, where is this? Is this like going all the way up to Paleto Bay? Like, my god, it's just... It's, okay. It's here, Grapeseed. Okay, Grapeseed. Okay, WRV. Open up your map right now and put a GPS marker on where I am. Right now, exactly. Where I am. Because this is where you have to deliver it to, right here. Put the GPS marker on me, exactly. This is where you gotta drive to. Okay, let me look at... Hi, GB, let me look at the chat here. Okay. Hi, bro, just wanted to say, watch your power. Thank you, Hayabusa, and thank you, Dark Soul, earlier. Bro, what do you think about the US and the UK nearly attacking India and Pakistan in 1971 with the aircraft carrier and the Soviet Union defending? Well, I don't know much about that, AN, thank you for the super chat. I know that India and Pakistan have been in several conflicts and wars throughout their history, but I don't know the specifics on that war. The only thing I really know about that, about the wars between India and Pakistan, I'm not really familiar with the, I'm not really familiar too much with Bangladesh breaking away from Pakistan, but I do know that when India and Pakistan fought, the mountain range that they fought it was the highest altitude battles fought in history. So the tallest battles fought in history at the highest elevation was between India and Pakistan, so it's fought in the mountains. Really tall mountains. Can you play Fight Night Champion on the channel? I could actually do that game one day. That was actually one of my favorite PS3 games. I love Fight Night Champion. That was actually a really good game. I really like that one. Maybe I could do a playthrough of that one day. Hey Pro, how are you, man? Do you play with PS Remote app? And I love the top 10 video. Keep up the great work, my friend. Thank you, Gorgle. I don't really use the PlayStation Remote app, no, Gorgle. And I have ideas for a few more top 5 videos. But the thing is, right now, I have another lore video I'm working on, and the next lore video is GTA 4, for people wondering. So people have really requested a GTA 4 lore video. The next one is a GTA 4 lore video, and I'm actually going to try to have it up in 5 days. Because that's when the GTA 4 anniversary comes up. Let me just see, when did GTA 4 come out? Okay, let me see, when did it come out? Okay, April 29th is when GTA 4 came out. So I'm gonna try to have that video out on April 29th. You play with viewers? Yeah, all the time. The thumbnail is fixed. If you refresh the video, the thumbnail is fixed. I really apologize for that. It was just really dumb of me to forget to change the thumbnail. I'm sorry about that. Bro, do you think that GTA characters get away too easily, like in the Red Dead Redemption? The main premise was that you can't escape your past. the thing about this is a lot of the well, thank you, Agent Reaper. A lot of the crimes that the GTA characters commit, a lot of those crimes, criminals would not get away with that in real life. Do you know what crime? Do you know what crime one of the GTA criminals would have been caught for? 100% would have never gotten away. You know which crime it was? Does anybody know which one they wouldn't have gotten away from? It's a mission in GTA 5. It's one of them. It was so unrealistic. It was one where they would have never escaped. It's not even a heist, by the way, for people wondering. Thank you, Gorgle, for the super chat too. Not even necessarily the heist. The heists were ridiculous because, you know, they wouldn't even be able to fight off like a SWAT team like that. But the FIB raid is a really good one too. They would have never escaped the FIB raid if somebody actually did something like that, like the FIB raid, just broken into the FIB building and like blew up half the building and just stole government files and all that stuff. If somebody actually did something like that, they would have never escaped, never gotten away. Like, even if by some chance they would have gotten away, the FBI would have pulled all their resources. You would have had the NSA, the CIA probably in that. Like, the federal government would have put all their resources into finding those people, checking cameras, checking where vehicles were. There's no way they would have escaped from that. But the mission that I actually was thinking about, I actually wasn't even thinking about the FIB raid. The mission where the GTA characters would have never escaped from is Hank 10. Hank 10, in that mission, it's a Trevor mission. In that mission, you don't even commit a crime in the game. It's in the cutscene instead. It's when Trevor kills Floyd and Deborah. Trevor would have never gotten away with that, 100%. Do you know how I know he wouldn't have gotten away with that? Because of the fact that he killed Floyd and Deborah. The scene was very brutal, but also because Trevor has spent weeks in that apartment. Weeks. His DNA is all over the place, and on top of that, when Trevor actually closes the door, he leaves his bloody fingerprints on the door. And then when he's actually touching the rail, to be fair, gets touched by a lot of people, but he's touching the rail as he goes down too. So literally, Trevor would have been caught 100%. The police would have checked fingerprints. They would have found him 100%. They would have linked him 100% to the crime. There's probably witnesses who probably would have seen this guy covered in blood, like walking out of the apartment. And the thing is, though, is Trevor is actually in the system. Trevor was actually in American prisons before. So he's been in a prison in America before. And the thing about that is his fingerprints would be in the system. So the second the government would have checked those fingerprints on that door, he would have just come up instantly. And Trevor, for people wondering why Trevor was in prison, he was in prison because he tried to rob some guy that he knew, like 20 years ago or such. And he spent, I think, like a year or something like that in prison. Or half a year in prison. It was, so he's been arrested before. Trevor has been in prison before. Michael actually comments on it. He says that Trevor's been in prison before. So literally, so Trevor would have never gotten away with that. They would have caught him. You know, he would have easily been caught on that. The only thing the government would have had a hard time doing is they would have had a hard time finding out exactly where Trevor is. But it was only a matter of time when they would have found him. So that, okay, let's see here. Get over to the, helicopters. No, I haven't seen that on record. Maybe I'll do a reaction to that. Bro, when's the next Kane and Lynch video? We're gonna do Hitman Freelancer, and then in May we'll do Kane and Lynch. So we'll do Kane and Lynch 2 in May. Okay, let's take these drop-offs here. Whoa. Okay, saved it there. A little bit of almost an accident there. Okay. Bro, should politics be in games? Because John F. Kennedy was in a Call of Duty game. Here's what I'll say about this, about politics. Fictional and historical politics are fine to have in video games. And by historical, I mean politics that happened decades ago. Anything modern, I don't think should be in any kind of video game whatsoever, because I think gamers don't want to see stuff like that. They don't want to see modern day politics in a video game. People don't, you know, buy games for that. They buy games to get away from nonsense in real life, just so they can relax. And so it's Video games should not have any kind of modern politics whatsoever. That's just my personal view on it. I don't mind if they have, like, fictional politics, like in GTA 4 and GTA 5, like, you have corrupt politicians in the GTA games. You do, like, you know, but the thing about that is that's all fictional politics. That's not real, and that's fine. But when you try to put, like, real world politics into, like, a video game and you try to push some political message or something like that, I personally think that's wrong. And it doesn't matter what the politics is, I think it's wrong whatever the politics is. You know, the video games, they shouldn't have, you know, any kind of really political message. I think it's fine if video games have, like, a social message or, like, a message that's, like, you know, to teach you a lesson or something like that, I think that's fine. But if it's, like, you know, something political, no. You know, no. Completely, like, you know, completely against that. Like, you know, the thing about that is that the GTA games have kind of had a moral lesson behind them, if you've noticed. Like, you know, you know what the moral lesson was in Vice City? Does anybody know what the moral lesson was in Vice City or the moral lesson in GTA 4? Because they both actually kind of had a moral lesson, though it wasn't, like, it wasn't really emphasized, but if you kind of follow the story, it kind of was explained. Yes, that was Devin Weston's house before. But the moral lesson that was in GTA 4 and GTA Vice City, it had nothing to do with politics. It was just a moral lesson. Be careful who your friends are. That's precisely what the message in Vice City was. The message in Vice City was basically about fake friends. That's pretty much what it was about. It was like the moral lesson was about fake friends. The moral lesson in GTA 4 is revenge truly worth it? That's pretty much what the moral lesson is in GTA 4. Because if you notice that in GTA 4, revenge drove Nico mad. Like, he obsessed over it. He was not the same for, like, you know, over a decade. He was not the same. It completely ruined his life, changed him. And then if you kill the guy who killed his friends at the end of the game, Nico actually does not feel better at all. Nothing changes whatsoever, nothing. And so that's pretty much the moral lesson in GTA 4. It's about, you know, is revenge truly worth it? Is it really worth it? That's what kind of the lesson was in GTA 4. GTA 5 kind of has a moral lesson, though most people have said that the moral lesson in GTA 5 is, and my helicopter's, like, lagging. But the moral lesson in GTA 5, I guess, would kind of be about forgiveness and whether you can forgive somebody. I think that's kind of what it was in GTA 5, but some of them are in, that. Yeah, but the thing about it is, do you know one thing that I'm gonna look at the super chats, but do you know one thing that I really didn't like about GTA 4's final missions? I loved the endings in GTA 4. I like the endings, but the one thing that I didn't like is I didn't like how the mission to kill Dimitri is called Revenge. I didn't like that, considering that the game is, like, you know, about, like, you know, it's just kind of, is revenge truly worth it? I think that the mission should have been, like, Justice or something like that. Justice would have been the proper term instead of, like, Revenge. Because killing Dimitri is necessary, but killing Darko isn't. And you're probably wondering, why would killing Dimitri be okay, but killing Darko would be wrong? The reason is because Darko isn't a threat anymore. The guy who betrayed Nico, he's not a threat anymore. He can't do anything, and he's it's clear that he's suffering. You know, he's a drug addict. You know, he's not happy with his life, and, like, Nico killing him would be giving him exactly what he wants. That's why I think it's personally, you know, not good to kill him. But killing Dimitri, on the other hand, is necessary, and the reason that it's necessary is because Dimitri is still a present threat. He's still a threat. So if Dimitri is still alive, Nico and Roman will never have peace if he's still alive. So Nico has to kill him. So that's pretty much what it's about. Okay, let me see here. Sorry about the super chats that I missed. Here. What if the cops in GTA 6 are more persistent in chasing the characters? I wouldn't mind something like that. Like, I wouldn't mind persistent police. But do you know one thing that really pisses me off with the cops in GTA 5, what really annoys me? It's not even like the cops, like, spawning really quickly and stuff like that. It's more about the helicopters. The helicopters piss me off in GTA 5 because when you're trying to lose a wanted level and you're about to lose the wanted level, like, you're so close to losing the wanted level, and then a helicopter just spawns, like, right in front of you, like, out of nowhere, and then you get the wanted level again. That's what personally annoys me, the ridiculous amount of helicopters. So I think that, you know, I don't mind the police being more challenging in Vice City in the next GTA game, but please just reduce the helicopter spam, because I personally think there's way too many police helicopters in GTA 5. I think it's ridiculous. So that's the only thing I would really do to change the police, is just reduce the amount of helicopter spawns, because it's too much. I could one day, Skull. Thank you. Get your Shinepox reference to Goodfellas. Yes, I remember that scene. It was in the bar, too. Thank you, Agent Reaper. And thank you, Fact Speaker. Hey, Pro, how's your day? My day was good. I picked Revenge in GTA 4 because F Dimitri. Yep, screw Dimitri. Hello, Manix. Thank you for sponsoring my channel. What's the moral lesson in GTA 3? I don't think that GTA 3 really has any moral lesson to it. I don't think it is. GTA 3, you're just playing as like a psychopath, basically what it is. Plot is 1, so you're playing the entire game as like a psychopath who gets betrayed and just working his way up through the criminal underworld for money. So there's really like no I don't think there's really a moral lesson there's really no moral lesson in GTA 3. At least I don't think so. But do you know what my favorite GTA game has as a moral lesson? My favorite GTA is Vice City Stories. Vice City Stories, I think that Vice City Stories is the most relevant moral lesson. Does anybody know what the moral lesson is in Vice City Stories? Anybody know what it is? Different than Vice City. In Vice City, it's about, the moral lesson is about fake friends, but Vice City Stories, it's a little bit different. Thank you, Jackie, for sponsoring my channel. Thanks, man. Yes, exactly that. Suspect has that right. The moral lesson in Vice City Stories is how one mistake can ruin somebody's life. That's basically it. One stupid mistake can ruin somebody's life. That's pretty much what the story in Vice City Stories is about. Because the thing about that is, have you guys noticed that Vic Vance is the most legitimate, like, GTA character of all time? He is really the only GTA character, when you really think about it, that tried to live a legitimate life free from crime. The only one, really. Like, every single other GTA character, like, some of them, like, get into crime willingly, some of them get into crime, but they still kind of don't like it. But, Vic Vance is, like, that only character. Vic Vance is the only character that has a real job, when you think about it. He's in the army. He's the only character. I mean, I guess Luis would be kind of close to him, because Luis is, you know, Tony's bodyguard. But Tony gets involved with criminals all the time. That's the thing about it. So Luis is thrown in with the criminals also. But Vic, on the other hand, Vic tried to live a totally legitimate life. Like, totally legitimate, tried to work his way up in the military, tried to have a career in the military. He never really wanted to get involved in crime. And that was the thing. That's why Vic Vance is different than all the other GTA protagonists, because all of them pretty much get into crime, you know, for money, for various other reasons. But Vic is the one who really didn't ever want to do that. So that's why I say Vic is, like, probably one of the most interesting GTA characters of all time. Since there are money-making opportunities in GTA Online, inflation increases. I seem to notice it in real life. Well, there have been inflation in the GTA in GTA. Not really the price of vehicles going up, but with new DLCs and new content coming out, vehicles do go up in price. I know they're doing that thing with the vehicles that are, you know, being raised in price recently. Some of them being lowered in price. Like, the first time that I played Vice City Stories, the moment that I met Martinez, I just had a bad feeling about it. I just literally did. Like, when he tells Vic, he tells Vic, I need you to go pick up a package for me. I'm like, okay, this guy's trouble. Like, I already knew what was in the package. I knew it was drugs. Like, even how old was I when I played Vice City Stories? I was 12, 13 years old when I played that game the first time when it came out. And what happened is, when that game first came out, even as a 12, 13-year-old, I knew exactly what Martinez was talking about, that he was talking about drugs in that package. And I was like, no, don't do this, Vic. But Vic, you know, went in and, you know, decided to do a favor for his drill sergeant, and it was a bad mistake, and, you know, it just sets up the whole story in Vice City Stories. His biggest mistake was trusting Martinez, or actually, biggest mistake was probably going back in the drug business. That was probably the biggest mistake. What happened in Vice City afterwards. I don't know what the moral lesson in San Andreas would be. I know San Andreas has some kind of moral lesson. I'm just trying to think about what it could possibly be. I think more in San Andreas, it would be how drugs destroy everything. That might be the moral lesson in San Andreas, but. GTA second evil main antagonist, Jerry Martinez. Yep, Jerry Martinez is definitely one of the scummiest GTA villains of all time. Thank you for that super chat, Agent Reaper. What's better, the Godfather game or the Sopranos game? Godfather game. It's open world, gives you more freedom. Yeah, Godfather, definitely. I'll do another part of Crime Boss maybe tonight or tomorrow. Oh, yes, they were. Pulaski and Marty were both insufferable. Do you know that, literally, like, when I first played that mission as a kid, when Vic kills Marty, I shot his body like 100 times. Because that's how much I hated Marty. Maybe I'll play the new Star Wars game. I played the old one. Maybe I'll play the new one too. What's worse, God mode or orb spam? That's a hard question to answer. I would say that orb spam doesn't let you move. You know, you can't move. You'll constantly keep dying. God mode, you can at least get away from the person. So I'll say that. But if they're following you lobby to lobby, God mode is probably, you know, probably a bigger problem. I want to talk to you on social media. Do you have Pro? I have a lot of issues going on. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Gorgle, for the super chat. I guess you could comment to me on what you could do if you have Twitter, Gorgle, is comment underneath my post today for the stream, because I made like a post, and I'll follow you on Twitter, and then you can just message me whatever you wanted to message me. Thank you for the super chat. I hope everything's okay. How can I be a channel member? Oh, you'd have to hit the join button or the link on my videos to become a channel member. Just started playing Red Dead Online and realized how it's gold. Yeah, Red Dead Online is fun, Nadir, but the problem with Red Dead Online is that if you start playing Red Dead Online right now, you actually will have a lot of content. You'll have, you know, the Moonshiner, you know, Bounty Hunter, Collector, Trader to do. You'll have a lot of missions to run. A lot of stuff to do, but eventually after playing for a few months, you will run out of content, unfortunately. And that's Rockstar's fault at that point, because they just didn't make any more content. No problem, Gorgle. Glad I can help. Yes, Galactic Conquest was awesome on Star Wars Battlefront 2. I don't know why the new game didn't bring it in. It was fine, Aiden. What's the benefits if I join your channel? Channel members get, channel members get a exclusive stream that I do. I do it usually 2 times a month. Sometimes I'll do it 3 times a month. But channel members get a exclusive stream, you know, usually twice a month. And what I do is sometimes when I post certain videos and playthroughs, channel members will have early access to it. There's actually a playthrough that I'm actually posting at the beginning of May that channel members will have the access to the entire playthrough a month early. But that playthrough is going to be like one big video. It's it's a 4-hour playthrough of a game, like, but the entire story. And so basically early access to certain videos and also to my exclusive streams. I'm sorry for stemming. It's okay. I'll try to do the objectives on Freelancer, but my main goal on Freelancer is going to be to survive. Because I've tried to play Freelancer on my own time, but the thing about Freelancer is, do you know what the hardest thing about Freelancer is? The hardest thing about Freelancer, it's not even killing the target. That's not even the hardest thing about Freelancer. The hardest thing in Freelancer is escaping. Because a lot of times the targets are in really annoying positions, and like you have to go loud in some places. And so it's trying to escape from all of that. That's the hardest thing in Freelancer, I would say. Do you know what clickbait YouTuber said? I'm just making GTA 6 thumbnails for fun. Wait, who said this, Agent Reaper? Thank you for the super chat. When someone super chats, how much does YouTube get? I think it's 30%. I think that's how much of it YouTube gets. Most of it goes to the creator. I think it's 70% at least. Wait, what, Michael? I'm confused. What is that? Have you heard of the World War II Unit 731? Yes, I have. 731 is a really horrible... It's one of Japan's worst war crimes. You know, Japan had a biological chemical weapons division called Unit 731. They did horrible experimentation. That was one of the worst things that Japan has ever done. Keep up the good work with your non-stop GTA videos. Thank you, Relicane. Thank you, man. And I'm wishing you all the best also. Thanks, man. Oh, thank you, Mr. Waifu. Which... Is that a recent car? I don't know which, I would have to look up which car that one is exactly. Yes, I've heard of Driver San Francisco. Do you think it's possible to stop drug cartels? Yes and no. What I mean by that is, are you ever gonna completely get drugs off the street? Impossible. It's impossible. Can you cripple and destroy the cartels? Yeah. That's possible. I think that breaking up the cartels and destroying them, I think is definitely a possibility. But I think that stopping the drug trade entirely, no. I don't think that'll ever end. It was the car you were driving? Oh, it's a muscle car. Oh, okay. True crime playthrough this year? Yeah. I mean, I could do it. Get over those boats here, then. Some other drug lord would take over. Yeah. I mean, eventually it would happen. But it's, but the cartels could be a lot weaker than they are right now. Twitter, he respond, me, Jeff Tutorials said that. You know what? Clickbait YouTuber said I'm just making GTA 6 videos for fun. Oh, well, look. Here's what I'll tell you about thumbnail creation, right? With thumbnails, when you're making a thumbnail on YouTube, that's actually a huge part of your audience. People don't realize how important thumbnails are, but thumbnails, a good thumbnail will attract possibly even double the amount of viewers that a terrible thumbnail will. So thumbnails are very important. You want to have a thumbnail that people are interested in and catches people's attention. Something that people look at the picture and like, wow, what is this? I want to click on this. However, though, there is a difference between having an interesting, eye-catching thumbnail and having a clickbait thumbnail. The difference between that. Because you can have a eye-catching thumbnail, something interesting in a thumbnail that catches people's attention, but it's not clickbait. And then you can have something that also catches people's attention, but it's clickbait. And that's, at that point, that's dishonest. Like, I mean, look at my videos, for example, like my top 5 videos. Like, my top 5 and top 10 videos, some of them have millions of views. And I made a top 10 yesterday, you know, but about the top 10 videos, about this. Now, think about this, is that when people look at my top 10 videos, like the thumbnails, they look at them and they see, like, a bunch of things in, like, the thumbnails, and then they see, like, the GTA font in, like, the middle, and it's, like, top 10, you know, this and that, and they're like, oh, this is cool, like, I'm gonna see what this is about. But my thumbnails are misleading, because whatever I have in the pictures on those thumbnails is exactly what I'm gonna be talking about in the video. So that's, so you want to have, like, an eye-catching thumbnail, but you don't want to have something clickbait. And there's no reason that somebody should have, like, a GTA 6, you know, font or something like that in their title. Like, the GTA text is fine to have, like, in thumbnails, but I'm talking about, like, like a GTA 6 logo or something like that, like, having that, like, when you see, like, a picture of, like, Vice City or something like that, and then you see, like, GTA 6 on the thumbnail, I would just stay clear of that video at that point, because that's a video that's dishonest for me. At that point, it's just... Okay, Lloyd, I'm gonna go and help somebody else sell after this, okay? I just helped sell 3 businesses. I just want to help as many people as I can. I think I'm gonna help 3 businesses with each person, and then just go on to the and then go on to the next person. Is that okay, Lloyd? Let me look at this here. Pretty good flying there. No, the reason that creators put such work into thumbnails, the reason they put such work into them is because it attracts viewers. Have you tried APB Reloaded? A long time ago, yes, I did play it. I know that game. It's the game where you play the criminals and the cops. A long time ago, I tried it. Okay, you only have one more business, then I'll help you with that one. I'll be visiting family in the Midwest again. Any video ideas for the summer? Oh, I hope that you you have fun in visiting your family. Thank you, Ann, for the super chat. But for video ideas in the summer, to think lore content, obviously, lore content, and summer next GTA update will come out, so we'll cover that. We'll do that too. You know, next GTA update is only 2 months away. People don't know that. So it's, so yeah. We'll cover the next GTA update when that comes out, and we'll, see what that's in there. We'll do some playthroughs also. I just don't know what playthrough I'll do exactly. Last night I mentioned during Gilly stream, trying to find a glitch within thousands of lines of code is extremely difficult. Well, what I'll say about it, Alvinor, is that there is no such thing as a game that's glitch-free. Every game is, you know, pretty much, you know, gonna have some kind of glitches. It's impossible to find them all. I'll help you after Lloyd, WRB, but what I will say, though, is even though it's impossible to find every single glitch, if your game has a considerable amount of glitches that players on day 1 find it, then that is something the developers definitely knew about. Like, I'm trying to think of a game, like GTA Definitive Edition. Like, all the glitches in the GTA Definitive Edition, they definitely knew about that. They definitely knew that game was not ready, 100%. But what happened is, and the thing about the GTA Definitive Edition, while Grove Street Games is at fault for that, I'm not defending them, is that people don't direct enough blame at Rockstar and Take-Two for this as well. Because, think about this. When did the GTA Definitive Edition release? When? Specifically when? November 2021. What is 1 month from November? What specifically? Think about that right now. The holidays. And this happens all the time. They would not have had enough time to fix all those glitches before the holidays. They wouldn't have. All the glitches that were in that game, they shouldn't have, they wouldn't have had enough time to fix it. So do you know what I think happened? What I think happened is I think Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games were like, we want a Christmas release. We want a release before Christmas because they know people are going to be buying the game and they can buy it, they're going to buy it as gifts and presents for the holidays for their friends and family. And so they're like, yes, we want a holiday release. That's probably what was happening. And they probably pushed Grove Street Games to release it before the holidays. That's at least what I think happened. They probably pushed them to release it right before the holidays, and this disaster happened. So Rockstar and Take-Two are also at fault for this, not just Grove Street Games. So that's what I think happened. And basically their attitude was, if the game has glitches, we can fix it later. Let's release it right now and get the money right now. That's basically their attitude. And I personally think that's a really bad attitude to have. A lot of companies do that these days. They're like, oh, let's release it right now, and we can just fix the glitches later, let's get our money now. No. You fix everything first, then you sell it afterwards. So that's I think the main problem with releasing games these days. Like, remember when they released PS2 games back in the day when PS2 games were coming out? You didn't have anything like online patches. You didn't have that for games. So, literally, when they were releasing PS2 games, they had to make sure that everything was perfect. They had to make sure that everything worked. They had to make sure that there was nothing wrong with the game. That you could play the game, and that nothing would break, because you can't fix it at that point. So they had to make sure that everything was perfect. But now developers with these online patches, they're all like, oh, you know what, whatever. We can just fix it later. And that's I think a really wrong way to go about it. I mean, look at the game San Andreas. You know, San Andreas is such a giant open world game. You know, especially for the PS2. Even compared to the day standards, it's a really big open world game. And San Andreas has so much content in it. But guess what about San Andreas? San Andreas has some glitches in it, sure. But very few, and none of them are really game-breaking glitches in the game. And that's the thing, is Rockstar went to great lengths to make sure that this game was perfect for release. And that was because they couldn't, go back and patch things back then on the PS2. Cringe roll. Yep. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Waif. I still can't believe how much they destroyed the Saints Row series. It was really destroyed. Okay, there we go. Delivered. Nice. I said it's me, Gorgle also. Thank you, Gorgle, for the super chat. Grove Street, Rockstar, and Take-Two, motivated by holiday sales, somewhat stonewalled by the complexity of coding. Yeah, I mean, look. Do you know what I would have done if I was Rockstar Games? And if I was in charge of the definitive edition of GTA? Do you know what I would have done? What I would have done instead? I would have still released the games, but not at that time. Here's what I would have done. I would have put all the resources in. At that point, the biggest mistake was working on 3 games at once. So if I was Rockstar, here's what I would have done about the definitive edition. I would have put Vice City and San Andreas on hold. I would have said, we're putting these 2 projects on hold. We are just releasing GTA 3 right now. Or we're going to fix GTA 3. And I would push San Andreas and Vice City to the side. I wouldn't release it. And I would just say, we're focusing on GTA 3 Definitive Edition right now. And we are going to make GTA 3 as perfect as we possibly can. We're going to make sure everything runs. We're going to fix any kind of glitches. We're going to make this the most perfect, smooth experience for the fans that love the original GTA 3. That's what I would have done. And what I would have done is, if we had enough time, if we fixed all the glitches, if everything was fixed, there was no issues, if it was perfect to go, then I would have released GTA 3 for holiday 2021. And that's only if it was perfect, if it was everything was good and there was no issues. Then do you know what I would have done? Then I would have put all the resources into Vice City Definitive Edition. And I would have said, okay, we're releasing Vice City next holiday season, so next year, so holiday 2022, we're releasing Vice City Definitive Edition. And this year we're working on Vice City. We're going to make sure everything's perfect, there's no issues whatsoever. Holiday 2022, Vice City. And then holiday 2023 next year, we focus everything on San Andreas Definitive Edition, and we release San Andreas for the holiday in 2023. That's what they should have done. They should have done a Definitive Edition game every holiday year. So they should have done 2021 GTA 3, 2022 Vice City, 2023 San Andreas. And that would have, you know, that the games would have had much less glitches. If they were able to focus on one project at a time, the games would have had much less glitches. But who in their right mind decided to release all 3 games at once? Like, that was just a bad idea. Like, I had just a bad feeling about that personally. It was just, you know, it was just no. Let me see here. Hey, is the channel member the same as the Patreon membership, the $5? Yeah, it's very similar to each other. But on Patreon, I have an extra tier in which I also, you know, talk with some of my viewers on Skype. We talked about Skype. They suggest me video ideas, and I communicate with them there. Because some people I know, they don't like the channel memberships and they prefer Patreon. That's why I have both options available. How did Claude get through school? I don't know. Thoughts on the PS3 hack back in 2011? I will never forget that. Never ever will I forget that. I remember that. That was just horrible. It was like 2 or 3 weeks. No PlayStation, nothing. Oh my god, that was just... I remember that. That was just... Can you unban me from Discord? It's been 3 years, so thank you, Alexander Barrett. But I don't really use Discord anymore. I don't really have a server anymore. I don't use it. I'm not familiar with who you are. Thank you for the super chat, but I don't really use Discord anymore. I don't. So I just don't really have that much time for it. I'm mostly on Twitter. Twitter is where I communicate with people. That's it. So if you want to talk to me, comment on my Twitter posts and stuff like that, I reply to people on Twitter actively. But you know, Discord I really don't. I don't really use that anymore. Thank you, Gorgle. Yeah, you could, Gorgle. You can ask me anything. Thank you for the super chat. Claude, yeah, Claude would be a pretty scary guy in real life. Honestly, what I'll say about Claude is, I would much 10 times rather, work with Trevor than work with Claude. 100%. If I had to choose between working with Trevor or working with Claude, I'd rather work with Trevor. Some people thinking, why exactly? Because Claude is completely unpredictable. Trevor is unpredictable to an extent, but Claude is completely unpredictable is that Claude can betray you at any time. Anytime. He doesn't care whatsoever. Trevor, unless you piss Trevor off or betray him, he's not really going to kill you. He's not going to, you know, hurt you. But Claude, on the other hand, you know, Trevor might scare you, sure, but he's not going to really betray you. But Claude at any time could just betray you. You know, and that's why I think, you know, I would never, you know, associate, or if I had to choose one of them to associate with, I would never associate with Claude. I haven't heard of I haven't heard of that series, Amen. Or that service, I should say. Yeah, Goodfellas is a great movie. It's still really sad that Ray Liotta passed away. Thank you, Jimmy. Oh, I did save all the characters in GTA 5.
It's gonna be killer.
Okay, I find it a bit weird that sometimes they give you like $3,000, sometimes they give you $50,000 for a sale. I don't know what controls that really.
And that, I believe...
A Saboteur lore video, yes. I want to do that. I got a bit delayed on that project, but I want to do that one too. Well, thank you, Corey. I will try to add you after the stream. Thanks, man. What do you think about Agent 14? Agent 14 is, bit of an annoying character. They made him better in the Doomsday Heist.
Epic fail. I cannot believe I went to go see.
Who is the most nice GTA character? Easy, it's Kate McCreary. How do you think Rockstar could reduce the amount of griefers in GTA 5? Take away the Oppressor Mark II. Delete the orbital cannon. Not gonna happen, though. Fortunately.
I'm really not in the mood for this.
Well, thank you, Relicate.
Totally.
Bro, I think the drip feed content that Rockstar releases for GTA Online next month will be the last content Rockstar releases for GTA Online before GTA 6. I disagree with you, Zombie. Thank you for the super chat. I think that here's my view on this. If Rockstar was gonna be releasing their final DLC, I don't think it would just be abrupt out of nowhere. I think that Rockstar would tell us. They would tell us in the newswire when the final DLC is going to be releasing. Even before it releases, they'll just tell us in the newswire this will be the final DLC, like in like a few months or something like that. Here's what I think. I think do you know when I think the final DLC will be for GTA Online? You know when? This holiday season. That's what I think is the final DLC. Could be wrong. Maybe it'll go on for another year, but this year will be 10 years exactly. And so I think that yes, I think that this holiday season is it. I think it'll be it, because they're running out of room. And what I think is going to happen, I think that in the summertime they're probably going to have some smaller DLC, and in the summertime they're probably going to talk about the December DLC, and they're probably going to mention the December DLC in July, and they're probably going to say that this is going to be our final, DLC, but it's going to be a big one, and they're probably going to announce it, and they're probably going to say we're thanking everyone who's playing GTA Online and everything like that. But that's what I think. I think that this, summer we're gonna have 2 more DLCs, one in the summer, one in December, and I think that's it at that point. I think that that Rockstar will I think that they will, you know, post in the newswire to tell people, and I think the final DLC will be a good one. That's, you know, my view on it. But have I played Homefront on the Xbox 360? I've played it on the PS3 before, but yes, I've beaten Homefront before. I know it's the game where North Korea takes over America. I remember that one. Apparently, GTA 5 cost Rockstar $295 million to make. I think GTA 6 is likely more expensive. Yeah. Yeah, GTA 6 is definitely going to be more expensive to make. Whoa! Oh. Okay. Thank you, Eddie. I'll play Mercenaries this year. I know this was a while ago, but what's your view on the Jeffrey Dahmer monster series on Netflix and viewers crushing over the actual serial killer? I actually don't know that much about that, Chrislyn. I know there was some controversy if there was some Netflix series about the serial killer, but I don't know the whole backstory. Can somebody... I remember people were talking about it months ago, but I don't know what the whole controversy is. I remember people mentioned something to me about it. I think I read something, but can somebody remind me what the controversy is again? What happened? I didn't watch this show. I don't even have a Netflix, so I don't know. But if somebody could explain in the comments to me about what the controversy is, what happened exactly, I could give my opinion, but I don't know the specifics, so... Thank you, Chrislyn. GTA Final DLC, they save Red Dead Online? No. It's not gonna be, they're not gonna do that. Who are the devs of Kane and Lynch? IO Interactive were the original devs of Kane and Lynch, but IO Interactive is not owned, it's owned by Kane and Lynch is owned by Eidos, I think. Eidos Interactive, I think that's what it's owned by now, so I don't think the original developer has it anymore. It was glorifying him? What? People were idolizing a serial killer? What the hell? Who's the most evil between Claude, Tommy, and CJ? Claude. Claude has no loyalty to anyone. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. Okay. Here, okay, got less than a mile left now here. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to read the chat just one moment here, guys. Okay, you look at the chat here. Well, I'm no fan of Hollywood personally. Like, you know, Hollywood has like a lot of elites that I really don't like in Hollywood, so, you know, I'm just not a fan of Hollywood personally. Nice jump. Thank you, Casey. I don't even understand the I know it's a joke, Third Street, but I don't understand the joke entirely either. Claude is a narcissist? No, Claude is worse than a narcissist. He's a psychopath. So basically, this whole Jeffrey Dahmer serial killer like Netflix TV show, apparently this, from what I'm reading in the comments, that people were glorifying this serial killer. Is that what it was about? Is that the controversy? But I'm not too familiar with the controversy. But if that's the case, is what the hell? Why would anyone want to glorify a serial killer? That's... Viewers of the Jeffrey Dahmer show are fantasizing about the actual serial killer and idolizing him rather than sympathizing with the victims. Oh, that's horrible. What the hell is wrong with people? Thank you, Chrislet. Thank you for the super chat. Yep, this feature almost no one does. Drink champagne. I don't know how he does that. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. Whenever I have drank champagne in the past, it's only like a, you know, small sips at a time. I can't do it. What the hell is that? Is that a... What the... Okay, that's weird. But yeah, I don't know how he can drink the entire glass like that at once. Rockstar screwed Reddit Online over. Do you think the GTA community is toxic? That is actually a very hard question to answer. I would say no. And the reason I would say it's not a toxic community is because this. Because look at this. You know, when I played in public sessions, I get attacked, sure, I get harassed, but just let's hear me out on this. But playing in these invite-only sessions, it's peaceful. You know, we got a 30-player lobby. Nobody has been killing anybody. Nobody. And we're just helping people out or helping people sell their stuff. It's been chill. And it's been chill for nearly a year. So there hasn't really been any kind of problems. That's because we're all friends. We all, you know, like each other. We're all hanging out with each other. We're all cool with each other here. But there are, you know, gonna be toxic people in the GTA, you know, community. But in my community, you know, there's very few of it. And when there is toxicity, I deal with it right away. But that's what I'll say is that here's what I'll say. My answer is a little complicated. GTA is not a toxic community, but encourages toxicity. That's what I'll say about it, if that makes sense. Because GTA, for example, is a very different game than, like, Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty, for example, you just kill other players. That's all you pretty much do. You kill the other team. But, like, GTA is like a game where, you know, you explore the map, you complete missions and stuff like that, and when you encounter other players in the game, you don't have to kill the players. You can choose to kill them if you want to, but you don't have to kill them. It's just an option of whether you want to. But GTA, also, and I'll tell you guys this, GTA is the only game that I can think about. Like, all of the video games that I've played, GTA is the only game that I know of where you can work hours and hours and hours and hours for something and just have it ruined within a minute. It's the only game I know of that. I think Minecraft is the only other one like that where you can work hours for something and then have it ruined in like a minute. But it's but other than that, GTA is like the only game that I play that I know where you can work hours and hours and hours for something and have it ruined. How? Imagine filling up a 111 crate warehouse. You fill up a 111 crate warehouse and you're flying the Titan. You're getting it takes 6 hours to fill up a crate warehouse, and that's if you have people helping you. So let's say that you do it by yourself, solo. That's like 8 or 9 hours to fill up a warehouse on your own. You spend 8 or 9 hours filling up a warehouse. You decide to sell it. Then some idiot orbital cannons you. You lose it in less than 10 seconds. It's gone. It's over. And so GTA is like the only game that I know of where you can play and work for something for hours and hours and hours and just lose it instantly like that. And I think that's the personal problem. I know there are other games out there, like there's DayZ. I know that, I'm familiar. I played DayZ before. I know for DayZ you can work for something and then have it ruined. But it's a bit different, because DayZ is specifically a survival game. But, like, in GTA Online, for example, like, blowing up somebody's cargo doesn't get you anything. It doesn't. It's for the idiots that say it's the $2,000, that's nothing in GTA Online. That's pennies in this game. So that's really nothing. In DayZ, at least in DayZ, when you kill another player, you can take their stuff. You can take their guns and, you know, their ammo and, you know, their food or whatever else that they're carrying. But in GTA Online, you know, you blow up somebody's cargo, you don't really get anything from it. And so it's like people still do it anyways. And it's just, that's just what I'll say about it. It's like the only game that I know of where you can play and, like, you'll lose everything, all your progress within just like a matter of seconds. And that's what I think about GTA Online. But, you know, GTA Online, like I said, it's not a toxic community. I don't think it is. I think GTA Online is more of, how would I say, it's a community that, it's a game that encourages toxicity sometimes, but it's not it's a toxic community in itself. Because I would say, if you take like 100 GTA Online players, for example, and like, I would say that at least 70% out of those 100 players are just normal, average players, just want to play the game, mind their own business, you know, aren't starting trouble. And maybe, like, you know, 10 out of the 100 are maybe, like, big PvP players, not necessarily, like, you know, griefers, but they just love PvP. And maybe at that point, I'm just trying to think of something else, maybe at that point, like, 20% or so, I would say, maybe a little bit less than that, are griefers, which is still a significant number. So I would say that less than 20% of the players on this game are griefers, because if you look at GTA Online lobbies, like a 30-player lobby, there's almost always at least one griefer in a 30-player lobby. But when there's griefers, how many griefers is there usually? Usually in the GTA Online lobbies, it's usually like, at most, you know, 2 or 3 griefers, usually at most, unless it's like a whole crew together. But most of the time it's like 2 or 3 griefers in like a 30-player lobby. And what was that? That's like, you know, 10% of like the entire lobby is like a griefers. So I would say, you know, that's probably a good way to measure exactly how many griefers are on GTA Online, is, you know, through that. So out of all the players that play GTA Online, I would say probably like 10 to 20% somewhere around there are griefers. Like most people, they just want to mind their own business, just sell their stuff, do their missions. They don't want to bother anyone. They don't want to start crap with anyone. But unfortunately, there's those idiots that will start crap, and the idiots that start crap, they will give the rest of the community a bad name. So that's what I'll say about it. I hope GTA 6 is PS5 Series X, not old gen. Oh. Yeah, I want GTA 6 to be just on PS5 and PC and Xbox Series X, because if the game is on PS4, and I have nothing against the people that are playing on PS4, but if the game's on PS4, it's not going to reach its full potential if it's on PS4. If it's on PS5, you know, they can really take advantage of the next-gen consoles as much as possible. And so that's what I hope for in that regard. But yeah, that's, you know, do you guys agree with what I'm saying about GTA Online? I don't think that it's really the game is toxic. I think that the community is mostly cool for the most part. I think it's just personally that there's just, sometimes the game encourages toxicity. I think the game encourages toxicity, but the community isn't really toxic. That's just what I'll say about it. Like, do you know what game I think is more toxic than GTA is, I would say the game that's the more toxic is Call of Duty. I would say Call of Duty is more toxic because Call of Duty is that type of game where it's, basically, it's just, you will play against somebody in Call of Duty, and the match ends, you win, you tell them good game. And they'll insult you. They'll just curse you out, even though you've been nice to them and you said good game. Just curse you out like that. But if let's say that you're playing match number 2. Match number 2, you lose the match. And even though you lose the match, you're still a good sport, and you say, good game, guys. There are people that'll say, you suck. You know, that. It's just like, excuse me? I just said good game. So that's, so I would say that's my personal experience, is like all the lobbies that I played in Call of Duty games, I would say, you know, Call of Duty players can be more toxic than GTA players even. But do you know what the most least toxic Rockstar game is? It's Red Dead Online. That's what the least toxic game is. Like, the thing about GTA Online is if you drive down the same street as other players in GTA Online, they'll open fire on you most of the time. They'll blow you up. And when you drive down the same street as people, they don't necessarily blow you up because they're griefing you, but they blow you up because they get scared. They see like somebody driving towards them really fast, and people react. They get scared. They think you're coming after them, and so they will fire first, or they'll think that you're firing when you're not. Red Dead Online, you can ride right next to people, get like within like a few feet of them, and just wave at them, and they'll wave at you, and they won't really shoot at you. So I'm not denying there's no griefers in Red Dead Online, but the number of griefers in Red Dead Online is far less than percentage-wise than the amount of griefers in GTA Online. And I think that it's why does GTA Online have a higher percentage of griefers than Red Dead Online? Do you want to know the answer to that question? I can tell you why. The thing about this is people will say, oh, GTA Online has more players, so therefore it's going to have more griefers. Okay, sure. But I'm not talking about the amount of griefers. I'm talking the percentage of griefers. Out of all the players in the game, like I said, like, you know, out of GTA Online, probably 10 to 20% of all players are griefers. Now, Red Dead Online, out of all the players, how many players are griefers? Probably less than 5%. Probably even less than that. It's significantly less than GTA. Why? Why is the number of griefers less on Red Dead Online than on GTA percentage-wise? Can anyone tell me in the comments? Does anyone know what I'm about to say? I want to see if anybody can thinks the same way that I do about this. I'll answer in a moment. I just want to see if anybody thinks the same way as I do. Yes, there's three people that have gotten the right answer so far. 3 people, and that is that the community in Red Dead Online is more mature, typically, than the community in GTA Online. This is not an insult to the GTA community. I have a lot of respect for the GTA community. What I'm saying is that the player base on Red Dead Online is more mature. Like, for example, if you play Red Dead Online and you talk to players in lobbies, you're gonna talk to mostly adults. But if you talk to people in lobbies on GTA, you're gonna hear plenty of kids. And that's the reason that griefing is actually much higher on GTA Online than on Red Dead Online, because people are more mature on Red Dead Online, it's more adults. And most of the griefers, guys, most of the griefers are kids and teenagers. People don't know that. Most of them is kids and teenagers. If, I don't know, like, I know very few people that are, like, actual adults that grief. Very few people. It's like, most of the time, these griefers are just, you know, most of the time it's just kids and teenagers. And now, why do kids and teenagers grief? Why do they grief way more than adults? It's because they're unstable. Their brains are just not fully developed. I would say they're more immature. And it's like, just think about when we were kids. You know, when we were kids, we did really dumb things when we were kids. All of us were when we were kids. We did really dumb things. And that's pretty much the reason that a lot of kids are griefers on GTA Online is, you know, they're bored. They just want to, you know, cause chaos. They just want to bother people. And that's pretty much it. It's just that. That's what it is. You know, it's, that's probably pretty much the majority of the reason, even though it's an M-rated game. But to be fair, when I was a kid, I played GTA 2. But I played Vice City when I was a kid. So I didn't play, GTA 5. I was an adult when GTA 5 came out. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. But do you want to know something? And I'll tell you guys something. I've actually read a lot of comments on my channel, like comments from people, and it was just the comments that I've read from people. It was like years later, like I would read comments from people, and I would like occasionally read a comment, and like the comment that I would read, it would say, "Hey, professional, you know, I griefed you when I was younger. I apologize for that. I was just a stupid kid back then. I've grown a lot since then." I've actually read comments like this. I have a few. And so when I read comments like that, it's like, you know, when a lot of these kids become adults, they realize, you know, I was an idiot when I was a kid. And so that's a lot of us have. Like, you know, a lot of us have done stupid things when we were kids. And like, we look back on ourselves when we were kids and we think, wow, we were a bunch of idiots. So that was just, that was that. So people mature as they get older, and so as these kids get older, a lot less of them become aren't griefers anymore. That's just what I'll say about it. You know, they're not really harassing people or even trash talking. Like, you know, I'll tell you something. How I talk to people online on video games was very different than how I talk to people, like, you know, online in video games today as, like, an adult. I'm not even talking about my YouTube channel. I'm just talking about, like, game chat, just in general. Like, when I was a kid, I played Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2. I was 16 at the time, so I was technically about to be an adult, you know, about to be, you know, 17, 18. But, I basically, when I would play these, like, Modern Warfare 2, I would typically be friendly to people, but if somebody, you know, cursed at me or something like that, I'd open my mouth. I would curse at them. I would never say racist or sexist things like that, but I would curse at them. You know, I would call them an effing idiot. You know, I would, you know, curse them out. So if somebody was talking crap to me on Modern Warfare 2, I'd curse them out back. And I got pretty heated at times. I would pretty much curse people out. You know, I would say some pretty not nice things to people. But, you know, when I got older, I stopped doing that. You know, you know, if anybody trash talked to me, I was basically like, you know what, whatever, this guy's an idiot, it's just not worth, you know, it's just not worth wasting my time arguing with somebody like this, you know, I'm just not gonna bother, let's mute the person, that's just it. So, you know, I've changed, you know, the way that I talk to people when I was a kid, and so that's, so that, I think, is like, you know, people mature, they get older, but what I would say is that, no, I never said anything racist on Call of Duty games, I never have done anything like that, but I would just curse people out, you know, if people were just, you know, yelling at me, or, you know, they said something stupid to me, I'd curse them out and call them an effing idiot. So I would, you know, curse at them. But basically, the second reason that that griefing is actually more prevalent on GTA, it's not even the player base, because we talked about the player base earlier. We talked about how, you know, more kids play GTA Online percentage-wise on a rate than adults do. Well, adults, it's still more adults that play these games than kids, but I'm saying is percentage-wise, more kids play GTA Online than they do Red Dead Online. And that, now we go to reason number 2. The second reason on why griefing is more prevalent on GTA Online versus Red Dead Online. Why? It's the way the game is built, specifically. That's primarily the reason. Another reason, too. Because think about it this way, guys. What is the pace of GTA Online? Can somebody answer that for me? What is the pace of this game like? The pace of this. And what is the pace of Red Dead Online like? Fast, exactly. So now think about it this way. What does GTA have? GTA has futuristic vehicles. GTA has automatic weapons. You could get to one end of the map in GTA to the other end of the map in probably less than 2 minutes if you're using the right vehicles. In Red Dead Online, it will take you, I think, like, unless you're using fast travel, even if you're riding like the fastest horse in the game, I think it'll take you somewhere like 10 minutes to get from like the corner of New Austin to like all the way to Roanoke Ridge. I think it'll take you somewhere like around 5 to 10 minutes to get up there. So that's the point that I'm making, is that GTA Online is a very fast-paced game, where Red Dead Online is a much slower paced game. You don't have all these automatic weapons. The only automatic weapon in Red Dead Online is the machine gun, and that's mounted. You can only find that in certain places. They don't have any carrying, you know, automatic weapons. And they have very few semi-automatic weapons. They have the semi-automatic shotgun. I think, is the semi-automatic shotgun the only semi-automatic in Red Dead Online? I'm trying to think about it. I know there's a semi-auto pistol, the Browning pistol, in single player, but that's not in the online. But I'm trying to think, is there any other semi-auto in Red Dead Online? No, I don't think there is. I think it's only the semi-automatic shotgun, and that's just a shotgun. So that's what I'm getting at here, is that the game, no, the repeating shotgun is a repeater, so it's not a semi-automatic. Semi-automatic basically means that a bullet comes out with every pull of the trigger. Lever action, what a lever action basically is there's a tube in the weapon. There's a tube magazine in the weapon. And what happens is, when you pull the trigger, the round comes out, and then when you cycle the lever, it cycles the tube. and loads the next round into the chamber. So that's so lever actions have much faster fire rates than bolt actions, but they are not semi-automatic. But that's oh, the pistols, right? The pistols. How could I forget? The Mauser pistol and the yes, that one. Okay, the German pistols. I forgot about that. But regardless, is the vast majority of the weapons are single action revolvers, bolt action rifles, and lever action. That's what the majority of the weapons are in that game. And try playing the single player and comparing it to online. The single player, you fire guns a lot less fast, a lot slower than you do in the online. So Rockstar actually made an update in which they made the weapons fire faster in the online versus the single player. Why did they make the guns fire faster? I think that was a bad mistake. I think they should have kept the original fire rate on the weapons. I don't think they should have ever made them fire faster. I think it was a stupid mistake, and I think they did that primarily to appease the GTA crowd. That's primarily why they did that. They made the guns fire faster to make it seem like they're more automatic-like, and they did that to appease basically GTA Online players. And they were hoping that more GTA Online players would play the game when they had a faster fire rate on weapons. That's pretty much what the weapons were like. What the? That was weird. But yeah, but that's pretty much what it is. And so when you have a really fast-paced game, you're going to have a lot of impatient people on a fast-paced game. So any game that is very fast-paced, if you noticed it, there's a pattern. The really fast-paced games usually have a lot more toxic people on them. The slower-paced games usually have more friendly people on them. There's a reason for that. It's because the people are impatient that play the fast-paced games. You know, they just want to use their automatic weapons just to kill everything. And I'll tell you guys something. I've seen some really stupid comments, some really stupid comments on Reddit Online. Like, it was just, you know, people were making comments on my Reddit Online videos when I was first posting the game back in 2018, and they're like, oh, this game sucks. They're like, all you do is you ride around on horses. This game has no automatic weapons. It's stupid. It's no vehicles. Like, there was actual comments like this. Like, we think about these comments like that. That's so stupid to say something like that. But I've actually seen comments like that. People saying, oh, this game sucks. There's no automatic weapons. Yes, I've actually seen comments like that. So there's a... So that's pretty much answers the another question right there of why the griefing is worse on GTA Online than Red Dead Online. It's the pace of the game. GTA Online is a more fast-paced game, and so with that, you're gonna have more griefers because if it's more fast-paced, they can kill people faster. If it's less fast-paced, they can't kill people as fast, and so that's the reason. You missed my other super chat. Oh, I'm sorry, Gorgle. I was just, you know, telling a story there. Let me look here. Today I killed a griefer 19 times and he got me 2 times. I killed him with a car and passive. He rage quit and sent me nasty stuff and I blocked him. Well, here's the thing about this, guys. That, thank you, Gorgle. Thank you for the super chat. If somebody sends you something really nasty on PlayStation, you can actually report the message to Sony. And Sony actually takes that very seriously and they deal with it right away. So if you're not doing anything bad to somebody and somebody's harassing you and they send you something racist or offensive or just something really nasty, you can report the message. I've done that a few times, but most of the time I ignore it when people send me nasty messages. But I have reported it sometimes when it's something really bad. And I'll tell you guys the story. Some people actually heard this story before, but for people who didn't hear this story, this is kind of funny. So basically, I pissed a griefer off really badly, and I did it on purpose. So I knew what I was doing. I knew I was gonna piss them off. I did it on purpose. There's very few times I really don't play games like this most of the time. Very few. I don't intentionally try to piss people off. I just try to, you know, play the game, have fun, mind my own business. But in this case, this griefer, he was annoying me for some time, and I intentionally really got him mad. I really did make him mad on purpose. What did I do to piss him off so badly? Basically, this is, you know, around, like, you know, 2019, late 2019 when this was happening, and when I was streaming GTA Online, like, you know, every week, you know, commonly at that. I mean, I stream GTA Online every week now, but I was doing GTA Online videos, like, you know, most of the days back then. And what happened is, there was this one griefer who would join my session repeatedly. And back then, we had to play in public sessions. We couldn't play in invite-only sessions. We had to play in public sessions because we couldn't sell anything in invite-only sessions. And so, I would have griefers this griefer that would come into my lobby. He would join in my lobby. He would constantly send friend requests. He would constantly send friend requests to anybody that was in my lobby. He would say, "Hi, I'm friendly. Invite me to the lobby. Want to help sell?" And the second he'd get in the lobby, it was always orbital cannon glitch. That's what he would do. And then he would just rejoin the lobby, do the orbital cannon glitch, destroy cargo over and over and over again. This guy just kept doing it. And this guy did this probably like 10 times at least on so many different streams. And so what basically happened was, what I did to really piss him off is, one time he joined my session when I was streaming. I'll never forget this. Joins my session, and the guy that joins my session, he's in the session, but he's not technically in the session, because the cloud screen glitch got him. So he was stuck in the clouds. So on his end, when he was trying to load into the lobby, he could see like the players dying on the side of his screen, I believe, but he would see clouds. So he wasn't fully loaded in the game, and it was like a server issue. And that would happen. People would have a hard time getting into lobbies because of the cloud screen. So if I looked at the player list, when I opened up the player list and I looked at all the players in the lobby, I saw that griefer in there. But then when I checked all the locations, he wasn't in the lobby. And so he wasn't fully connected in. And so guess what happened? For 2 hours, this loser, I'll tell you guys, this loser sat in the cloud screen for 2 hours. For 2 hours he sat in the cloud screen trying to orbital cannon me. So he was just sitting there for 2 hours. Maybe he was on his phone, I don't know, but he was sitting there for 2 hours watching the screen, waiting just to get into my lobby just to orbital cannon me. And I was thinking to myself, what a loser. Like, who does something like that? They're so desperate to orbital cannon me, they're gonna sit there and stare at like a cloud screen for just 2 hours. And so what happens is, 2 hours later, he finally connects in, and he spawns into the facility. I see him connect in. I was regular, every 5 minutes I was like checking to see if the guy was like spawned in. And so he finally spawned in, like 2 hours later, he was in the facility. And do you know what I did at that point? I said, okay guys, we're gonna wrap up the stream here. I'm gonna end the stream right now. Everyone leave the lobby. It was fun playing. I'll see you guys, take care. And I just left and I ended the stream. So I waited till the moment that he got into the lobby. And the second he got in the lobby, he's ended the stream and just left the session. I told everyone to leave too. And everyone left the session. And so he saw an entire 30-player lobby just disappear before his eyes. Like that. Like, it was just, and so he sat there for 2 hours, literally just trying to orbital cannon me. He's sitting on the stupid cloud screen. And then he finally gets in the session, and I just leave. And what happened is, right after that, he sent me a bunch of messages right after that, because at that point my messages weren't private, but right now my messages are only between friends. Back then my messages were public, so really anybody could send me a message. And so he sent me a bunch of messages, and I know I got to him. I know I pissed him off, because when I looked at those messages, it was really toxic, and I mean really, really toxic. He cursed me out. He said some really offensive things. I'm not gonna say what he said, but he said some pretty offensive things in those messages. And the story gets even better at this point. He called me a coward. He said that I was scared, that I left the session, and then he cursed me out and he called me a bunch of offensive words. Now, the thing about this is, yeah, I'm a coward. Because he's saying the guy who just loads into a session and just orbital cannons people and leaves. Yeah, I'm not being a coward. But anyways, about it is, the story gets even better. Because what I did was, I reported his messages to PlayStation, because you can just hit the button and just report the messages. It'll submit a report to Sony. I reported his messages. I didn't reply to him, I just reported his messages, and within like 5 or 10 minutes, all of his messages on PlayStation were deleted. All of them were. And I believe he got like a 1-week suspension. So he got suspended for like a week. And he sent me messages before, like toxic messages, but I just ignored them. But at this point, I reported it. And so I got him banned for like an extra week at this point. And what happened is he never sent me a message again, because he was probably terrified that I would report it and then he'd get banned again. So that was it. So literally, I wasted his time, 2 hours in the cloud screen, and at that point, I reported him and I got him banned from PlayStation for a week. And so I did Rockstar's job at that point. Rockstar's job to protect the community on GTA Online, because Rockstar should have banned somebody like that from their game. The second that somebody does the orbital cannon glitch and follows somebody lobby to lobby, that's harassment. Because it's not harassment if you kill somebody in GTA Online, but if you follow somebody lobby to lobby over and over again and then keep killing them and then keep sending them messages, that's harassment at that point. And so I did Rockstar's job. I did more to literally clean up the GTA Online community with getting that guy banned for a week than the Rockstar support has ever done. So that was it. Because Sony, at least Sony, they take it very seriously. Sony takes it very seriously, unlike Rockstar. And when you submit a report to Sony, they deal with it right away, and they will get on it. And so that's what I think is the guy deserved it. Deserved to get banned.
What do you need?
And I was just sick of the guy's crap, honestly.
Can't handle the heat.
I never did anything to this guy.
Okay.
This guy would just repeatedly
Leave it
come in my
with
session, just
Uncle
orbital
Lester.
cannon me, and it was just, I would say it was just, deserved it. You deserve to get banned for a week, and that was just it. So, literally, I could piss somebody off just by being, like, really nice. That's just it. I just literally, oh, I'm sorry for ramming you. I can't control the truck, because the truck is just, the truck is just driving, yeah, we mentioned here, hold on a second, where is he? Okay. Was the guy racist? He said pretty offensive things. I'm not gonna say what he said. I'm just gonna say he said pretty offensive things. But do you know the most offensive message that I have ever seen in my life, like the most messed up and offensive message I've ever seen? It was not even on PlayStation. It was actually on GTA. You know, the phone when people can text you. There was this one message that I'll never forget. It was a few years ago. I was just streaming. No, I wasn't streaming. I was playing in a public session on my own time, and this guy who I've never recognized before. Okay. This guy who I've never recognized before, just he messages me on the phone in GTA. Says something really, really, really bad, and I'm not gonna say what he said. I think people can probably figure out what he said, but what I'll say what he said. I'm a Polish American, and so this guy, trying to get out of here. You see my name, Polish Mercenary, and so people know that I'm a Polish American. And this guy sent me a message on the phone in GTA, and he said something specifically about Polish people. And he mentioned World War II, and I think people know exactly what I'm talking about here. It was extremely offensive, the worst message I've ever seen. It really bothered me, and I was like thinking to myself, I was like, what a piece of crap, like this guy, like what kind of morals does this guy have to say something that horrible to me? Like it was just so disgusting. This is such a evil message. It was literally an evil message. That's what I'll say, because most of the messages that I have gotten were toxic, but that I would say is an evil message. It was really, really bad. It was just really, 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 really horrible. And it's just, I'll never forget that one. I'm gonna get over this. Yeah, we could do a heist. I'm down to do a heist. But the thing about that is, if it was up to me, like, that guy would have been banned for that message. That guy would have been banned. But of course, I could take a screenshot of what the guy sent to me. I could even record it on a video clip. I could send it to Rockstar Support and say, look at what the messed up thing that this guy sent to me, and Rockstar Support will do absolutely nothing about it. So that's This mission sucks. Well, whoever's heist I join, I guess it'll be up to them who they invite, because it's their heist, but I would just ask the person whoever I join. Damn, come on. What did he say? You don't, like I said, I'm not gonna say it. It's really, really horrible, and it's really messed up. And so, people know exactly what I'm talking about, like I said earlier. That's just, very, very offensive comment. Worst comment I've ever seen in my life, somebody said to me. Lloyd, I haven't been replying to anyone. I've just been extremely busy. I was working on that Big Smoke video that I made. That took a lot of my time, and I have barely read any messages, and then I'm just working on the top 10 yesterday. Oh, I'm gonna read the super chats. I'm sorry for any comments that I've missed, guys.
And we have a sale.
Thank you, boy Ronnie. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks, man. I remember making a toxic player super angry in Halo Reach that he called me slurs, a cheater. Oh well, yeah, and I'm sorry he was also being racist to you, Mr. Waifu. A lot of those PvP games, Halo, Call of Duty, you will typically see like a lot of really toxic people on that game talking crap. Battlefield is the only one I've seen where there's no really toxic crap because you can't really talk to the enemy team. But I'm sorry that you went through that. Your streams feel like company when I'm alone. Thank you, thank you, Shoji Kenai, if I'm reading your name correctly. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, a lot of people come by, sometimes when people watch my streams, people don't even play GTA Online or Reddit Online, but they just come to my streams to hear what I have to say, what I'm discussing. But did somebody have a heist? Somebody had a heist, right? I just finished watching Pesky Blinders on Netflix, and it's amazing. Happy Sunday, everyone. Oh, what's that show about? Thank you, George. Thanks for the super chat. Whoever has a heist, just invite me to it. I guess I'm ready to do a heist whenever anybody else is ready. Thank you, fantastic, Wolvian. And Drifter, what was your milestone? I'm sorry for not, When we talk about my issues on Twitter, I'm from Portugal, so different time zone. Okay, Gorgle. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, I'll join the casino heist. Okay. It's a crime show. Okay. Yeah, I could do the Assassin's Creed games in the future. I'm definitely down to do that. Yeah. Oh, okay, Drifter. Yeah, Supply Lines was a pretty annoying mission too. But I don't think that Supply Lines is actually the worst GTA mission of all time. I think that the Espresso to Go in GTA 3, that one might be worse than Supply Lines. No, I'm not ignoring you, Dominic. But you're from Japan, Sauce God? Thank you, Jimmy. You're a really nice guy. Oh, thank you. Okay, I guess I will just invite the lobby. I'm gonna invite the lobby then, is that okay? And, whoever joins first is who will get, I guess, get in the heist. I gotta be fair to everyone. So it's just whoever joins in first will get in the heist. That's the best way I can pick it, is whoever's the quickest and gets in here, then, Thank you, Electra. Why are people racist? It's racism oftentimes comes from families. Racism is not, most of the time racism is not something that somebody develops on their own. Most of the time racism is actually passed down. So most of the time it's the dad or the mom is racist, and then they basically pushed it on the kid, and then the kid starts believing that, and they become an adult, they have kids, and then they push that on their kids. So racism is usually, you know, something that the parents bring onto the kids, and then the kids start believing that. Oh, well, I'm probably gonna get something to eat after this, Caden, but I could help you next one, next stream. Okay, give me the lowest cut. I'll just take lowest cut. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying, Crusader, is people also develop racism over time on their own. They become racist over time, but I'm saying is, a lot of racism, it actually comes from the parents. That's where it comes from. Because, right, if you look at a lot of racists, see what kind of people their parents are, and that's usually a red flag on where they learn that from. Well, people accuse racism as stupid things. There are people, look, there are people that are very politically incorrect, and they will, like, they'll say things that they'll say things. I despise racism, but I'll say there's people who will say things that is not racist. That is racist when it's not. I'll give you a perfect example. There's this video game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. And that game, Kingdom Come Deliverance, in that video game, it's a game that takes place in medieval Bohemia, which is in the it's in the 15th century, I believe, which is modern day Czech Republic. That's where it would be. But anyways, about it. In the game, there's one part in the game when the humans invade. Now, the humans are mercenaries from Central Asia. They're mercenaries from Central Asia, and they're mercenaries for the Hungarian king when they're invading when they're invading Bohemia. And people were saying that was racist because the characters were Central Asian and they were invading, Bohemia. But the thing about it is, I'm actually technically a human. I am also, I'm a Tatar. I'm a Polish Tatar. So people don't know that about me because they think that everyone that's in Poland is like 100%, white Slavic, but that's not true. I'm, my grandmother, she was a Polish Tatar. These are people that come from Central Asia. These are people that, they came from Central Asia hundreds of years ago, during the Mongolian conquests, and they settled in Eastern Europe. And so my grandmother, for example, she grew up in Poland. My grandmother wasn't white. My grandmother was, Central Asian. But what I'll say about it is, I am a Tatar. I'm a Polish, Tatar. And how the humans were depicted in that game in Kingdom Come Deliverance, I didn't find that racist towards the Tatars or towards the humans, because that happened in that time period. They invaded. It wasn't racist. They actually attacked. The Hungarian king attacked, and there was actually humans that were attacking Bohemia. That did happen. But people were just jumping on the game, and they were saying that was racist when they don't know the real history. They did invade. And that's what happened. So it was, so even though, I am, the same group that, I'm not a Hungarian Tatar, I'm a Polish Tatar, but it's still the same group. It's, I didn't find that racist, personally, how they were shown in the game. But it was, but people, like I said, they will just jump on, just ridiculous things, and they will just, stuff like that. When there's actual racism out there, we call it out, and we criticize it, but then there's some things that people will just, freak out about some things, and they'll go crazy. Another example I'll give you is, in the Modern Warfare 2 game, the new Modern Warfare 2 that just came out, they said that game was racist because of the cartel missions. I'm not joking. People actually said that. And it wasn't just people, it was reviewers. Kotaku was claiming that the new Modern Warfare 2 was racist, and how were they claiming that exactly? They were claiming based on the Alejandro mission. So if you guys remember the first Alejandro mission, the mission when you're the first mission when you are crossing the border, that first mission. And when you cross over from Mexico into America, and then there's that part when you meet the police, and the Texas police makes that, like, one comment, and he says it's like hard to tell you boys apart from the cartel or something like that. And then Kotaku was saying that that's a racist statement. But literally, the first cop that arrests Alejandro is actually a Hispanic American cop. And so that comment had nothing to do with racism. When the cop says it's hard to tell you boys apart from the cartel, it's because the cartel are dressed and armed like soldiers. They have vests on, they have helmets, they have assault rifles, just like Alejandro. You had Alejandro and what was his name? Rodolfo were going house to house with military vests on, military gear. They had submachine guns, assault rifles. There was a shootout going on. A bunch of people just got shot. The police don't know what's going on. So if the police see two guys running down the streets with vests and assault rifles, they're gonna stop them. It doesn't matter if Rodolfo and Alejandro were with the Mexican Special Forces. The police didn't know that at that time. It was dark, it was night, and they didn't know. And so when they identified them, they let them go. But Kotaku didn't understand that, and they were saying that mission was racist when it wasn't. And so that's what I'll say is that. So when there is racism, point that I'm making at. We call it out. You know, it's racism is disgusting. It's horrific. But you know, then there's people like that, unfortunately, that will just they'll try to. They'll try to accuse something of being racist when it wasn't. I didn't find anything racist about that scene personally, but that was just it. But for people that don't know what I'm talking about, just go on Google and look up Kotaku Modern Warfare 2 racist, and you'll see the article pop up right away. So it'll Okay, let's get everything here. Graves was the real racist in Modern Warfare 2. Yes, I actually made a video about this. I made a video about this in, look up my video on Modern Warfare 2. I made a video on the whole racism controversy. But basically in that, I actually came to the same conclusion that you did. Oh, we don't have the drills. Okay. Graves is actually the racist. You know, the guy who leads Shadow Company, he's the racist. Because if you hear the comments that he makes against, like, the comments that he makes against Mexicans, especially when he's going through that village and just, like, committing those horrible atrocities, he's the racist in the storyline. But Kotaku didn't even get that right. It was, if they were gonna write an article about a character being racist, it was Graves. But hey, we got this. How did you get diamonds in the casino, by the way? Okay. Forget to tell you, a few days ago, I encountered a few racists in DMZ. And there's still one more, but I can't pick it up. I'm assuming it's a glitch. If you guys encounter anybody being racist on the game, just report them. That's just, what I do personally, but it's, I know sometimes the reports don't do anything, but, it's better than doing nothing. It's, thank you, Boy Ronnie. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, boy Ronnie, again. Thank you for the super chat. I got a lot of heat by recommending YouTubers who not everyone agrees with on the Kotaku video, and I will never apologize for recommending them. Oh, thank you, Mr. Waifu. Thank you, Boy Ronnie. Oh, thank you, Boy Ronnie. You're on a roll with those super chats. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. If we really rush this, we might actually get Elite challenge on this. It's entirely possible. Oh, thank you, Boy Ronnie, again. Wow. Another super chat from Boy Ronnie. Thanks, man. Oh, thank you, Boy Ronnie. Thank you, man. Come over here, whoever's over there, Rodriguez, come over here to us. Watch out for the guard that's walking back and forth, though. Come over here to the locker room. Get a disguise. The gambler outfit, does it let you just walk past the guards? Okay. Oh, thank you, Boy Ronnie, again. Wow. Wow, look at this super chats. He's on a roll right now. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. There are a bunch of people running with duffel bags. This is not suspicious at all.
Where you are, they have patrols sweeping the whole place, and all the civilians have been evacuated. So if they see you, they'll know it's you. So just stay out of their way, keep your cool, and get to the buyer. The driver has the getaway car in position. I've pinged you the GPS. Get to the buyer, don't bring the cops, and we're home free.
Thank you, Ian, for the super chat. Good work there. Okay. Yeah, this is so not suspicious at all. Oh, thank you, Boy Ronnie, again. Well, thank you. Oh, no. Ah. Damn. So many helicopters. Oh, thank you, Ian. Thanks, man. Thank you, guys. You want to get the helicopter? It might not be there, though. But well, I guess we could try, but... It might not be there. That's why I never take my chance in the helicopter. Thank you, Ian. Damn, those helicopters are gonna be the death of me. I should have brought snacks. Okay, come on. Oh, thank you, Boy Honey, again. Wow. Thank you. Oh, it doesn't spawn the aggressive approach, okay. How much do you get for Elite Challenge on this again? 100,000. I don't... What is the most dangerous mafia in the world? Honestly speaking, I don't think that the, I don't think the Italian Mafia is the most powerful crime organization in the world right now, anymore. You know what I think is the most powerful crime organization in the world? The Mexican cartels. I think they are the most powerful, and I think they are the scariest also. Who's worse, Private Allen or Graves? Oh, they're both pretty bad. Thank you, Rainfalls, for the super chat. Well, I might want to see, like, I might want to see, like, the United Arab Emirates one day, and I might want to see, like, Dubai. I've always been very interested in seeing that city, and it's the tallest building in the world. Why did the Mexican cartels come to power? There was a demand for drugs. There's an illegal demand for drugs. and also corruption and the demand for drugs. That, you know, you have something that people want illegally, drugs, and then you have corruption. It's a recipe for disaster. Do you collect movies? I saw your wall full of CDs. Are you talking about the room where I unbox things, like the unboxings and stuff like that? That is actually the, lower basement of my... That's, like, the very bottom floor of my, parents' house. And I find it, you know, easy just to record in there. Just when I'm doing unboxings, it's, like, a really big open room. But that room, when you see all the CDs in the background, it's actually not mine, it's my father's. My father, he collects a lot of CDs. He collects a lot of music. My father's really big into music, and so he has, like, a massive collection of just music and just other stuff. Not really movies, it's mostly just concerts and stuff like that that he has. Well, the Mexican cartel was in GTA 5. That was Martin Madrazo's cartel.
Alright, you're good. Get to the buyer.
But, all the cartels that were in Vice City, because in Vice City, what just happened? What was that? What happened to the other two people? They're not in the cutscene. I see the destroyed helicopter. Did you do that on purpose? Was that an accident, or did you do that on purpose? Wait, so that was... Did you actually do that on purpose, or was that just an accident? Oh, 9 seconds. Wait, so did you know that was gonna happen? Wow, that was... Wow, I might make a short out of this. This is... It's... Wow. Okay, oh, I have to pause this here for a moment because the cutscene has music in it. Why do you think a lot of dudes are afraid... Oh, hang on. Why do you think a lot of dudes are afraid to train to become, martial artists and opt to train to become bodybuilders instead? I can answer that question. Thank you, Suspect 13. Why do people become bodybuilders instead of, mixed martial artists? It's because bodybuilding is something that you can tell. You know, when you see a bodybuilder, you can see that person, you're like, wow, that person works out. And so, when somebody's into martial arts, unless they're, like, really buff, you know, you really, it's not something that's demonstrated, like, unless, you know, they show you their technique. It's not something that's demonstrated, like, being a bodybuilder is something that everyone sees. And so people see that, they see a person's muscular, and so that's primarily why people get into bodybuilding, is for their own appearance, you know. When it comes to martial arts, it's more of, I guess, something that people do, as, like, a hobby, but also to learn self-defense. Hey, Pro, I saw your comment on Misha's guns on the SVT-40. Yeah, the SVT-40, I think, is the most underrated World War II rifle. 10 rounds. It has a detachable box magazine, even though the rifle itself was meant to be loaded with stripper clips. It still has that option. You know, it has a gas system, pretty long barrel. I would say, yeah, the SVT-40 is probably the most underrated World War II rifle. What car do you have in real life? I have a BMW 2013 328i. That's what I have. So it's a nice car, but when I say BMW, people think I'm driving around in some supercar or something like that. No, it's a sedan. It's just that I bought it used a long time ago and I liked it. I haven't really had any problems with it. So that's the car that I have. And thank you, Ricardo Joyce. Thank you for the super chat. What I'll say about the cartel, or also earlier, is the Vice City is very different than Los Santos. It's very, very different than Los Santos. It's very different than Liberty City also. Liberty City is a city that's controlled by a lot of gangs and a few mafias. Los Santos was a city that was mostly controlled by gangs. But Vice City was a city that has been heavily controlled by the cartels. The cartels pretty much ran Vice City in both Vice City and Vice City Stories. So in Vice City, the new game that's coming out, you know, in GTA 6, because GTA 6 is in Vice City, I think a lot of people aren't going to expect just a heavy cartel presence, because it's going to be focused heavily on drugs. It's gonna be, the theme in the Vice City games has always revolved around drugs and about building a criminal empire. That's what it always revolved around. And so, what I'll say about Vice City specifically is that the cartels that were in Vice City, though, none of them were actually Mexican cartels. All the cartels that were in Vice City. Diaz's cartel, I believe, were Colombian. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. The Mendez cartel was Bolivian, and the Cortez cartel. The Cortez cartel was from a Central American country. It was never stated what Central American country, but they were a Central American country. So none of the cartels in Vice City were actually Mexican, but that might change in GTA 6. So you might see that. But thank you, Fact Speaker. Thank you for the super chat, man. Diaz was Colombian. I'm pretty sure Diaz was Colombian. The Mendez brothers, I know, were Bolivian. And Colonel Cortez from a Central American country. There is a Cuban gang in Vice City, in both Vice City games, but they weren't a cartel really, though. I enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Gorgle. I prefer automatic cars. It's automatic. Well, the country that Cortez was from, he just talks that there's been a lot of coups in the country, and that's actually kind of based on the CIA's coups, because the CIA did a lot of coups in Central American countries in the during the Cold War, and that's kind of a reference to that. There's a lot of coups in a lot of Central American countries during the Cold War. I would love to see the Yakuza in GTA 6. Well, do you know what gang is coming back in GTA 6? It's a gang that's in GTA 4, and I guess I'll be wrapping up the stream here, guys, but I'll say this one thing. In GTA 6, I guarantee you're probably gonna see a gang in GTA 6 that you've seen in a previous GTA game. And when I say previous GTA game, I say GTA 4. There's a gang that you've seen in GTA 4. That exact same gang is going to come back in GTA 6. I bet on it. And what gang do you guys think I'm talking about? What gang in GTA 4 do you think will appear in GTA 6? What gang? Because they were a very big gang in GTA 4. They were they were in a lot of missions. The Lost might appear, but it's not the Lost. One guy got it right. It was the Russian Mafia. And you're probably thinking, Russian Mafia in Vice City? What? The reason the Russian Mafia are going to be in GTA 6, do you know why? Because the Russian Mafia mentions Vice City in GTA 4. People forgot about that. But what we do know about Vice City in the GTA world, what we know about Vice City in the HD universe, because we know all about Vice City in the 3D universe, Vice City and Vice City Stories, but we don't know that much about it in the HD universe. But what we do know about it in the HD universe is Vice City is a hub city for drugs. Vice City is where most of the drugs come into America. So when most of the drugs are coming into America in the GTA world, they come in through Vice City. And so the Russian Mafia mentions Vice City in the story in GTA 4. And what is the Russian Mafia using Vice City for? They're using it to smuggle drugs. So in GTA 4, the Russian Mafia has a speedboat, a bunch of speedboats. And they have an operation in Vice City, and they use those speedboats and transport the drugs north towards Liberty City on the water. So that's what they do. It's kind of unrealistic, because, you know, if it would be a lot safer to transport the drugs through land than through water, especially on the East Coast. But that's the story in GTA 4, because the Coast Guard will be heavily protecting the East Coast. But that's the story. It's that mission with Phil. For anybody who remembers that Phil mission, remember the Phil mission? It's the mission where you have to take Phil with the truck and you drive into the Russian compound. And then you have to kill the Russian gangsters, and you have to take the speedboats with the drugs on it. At the beginning of that mission, it actually tells you at the beginning of that mission that the Russian Mafia is using Vice City as a hub for speedboats to send drugs up. So you're going to see the Russian Mafia in GTA 6. I don't know if they're going to play a big role. They're probably going to play a small role. Because the Russian Mafia is very strong in Liberty City. In Liberty City, they're really big. But in Vice City, they're probably not going to be that big in Vice City. But they're probably going to be there. In Vice City, the main enemies are not going to be the Russian Mafia, it's going to be the Cartel. That's who the main enemies are going to be in Vice City, but we don't know what Cartel. It's going to be a new Cartel, probably. That's probably going to be the main bad guys in the new GTA game. What is it also? For people wondering, who is the boss of the Russian Mafia in Vice City? Who's the boss at this point? I'll tell you who the boss is. Kenny Petrovic. Kenny Petrovic, he's the only Russian mob boss that survived GTA 4. He's the only one that survived, and he ended up taking over the entire Russian Mafia after GTA 4 came out, after the story of GTA 4. He actually appears in the online. GTA 4 has an online story, which that's actually going to be part of my lore video on the 29th. But Petrovic, GTA 4 story actually continues after the main game. It does. Because GTA 4's multiplayer takes place a month after GTA 4 story. It does. So GTA 4 actually has story missions in the online. There's 3 story missions in the online. It's not a lot, there's only 3. But those 3 missions take place a month after GTA 4. And basically, you in the story missions, you play as the Russian Mafia in GTA 4. And the Petrovic takes over Pegorino's house. So after Pegorino dies, Petrovic takes over Alderney, the Russian Mafia, and he takes over Pegorino's house. That's the story in the online. And the reason that Petrovic did not appear at all in the storyline in GTA 4, he appears in the online. You actually see him in a cutscene. The reason he doesn't appear in the single player, even though he's mentioned a lot, is because he's been in Russia the entire time. So he was in Russia for a trip, the entire story of GTA 4, and then after a month after GTA 4, he returns to Liberty City on a plane, and then the police try to arrest him. And so that was the whole thing. But I'll have a video explaining this whole thing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for stopping by. It does mean a lot to me, the support on these streams. Thank you guys for watching. And I hope if you guys did enjoy the stream, do drop a like. And I will try to have my lore video on on GTA up very soon for you guys. But we're gonna try to have it on the anniversary of GTA 4. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys had a great stream and have a great rest of your Sunday night. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.